step up is the local area network. That's LAN in shortcut. So LAN is a privately owned network that operates within the within and nearby a single building, like a home, office, or factory. So LANs are widely used to connect personal computers and consumer electronics to let them share resources. The best example is a printer and exchange information. So when LANs are used by companies, they are called as enterprise networks. Now let's begin with the first one. There are two types of LAN. The first one is wireless LAN. Wireless LANs are very popular these days. Everybody might use this, whether they do know about this wireless LAN or not, but they might have experience and used wireless LAN some or other day in their life. So especially in homes, older office buildings, cafeteria, and other places where it is too much trouble to install cables. In this kind of in these systems, every computer has a radio modem and an antenna that it uses to communicate with other computers. So in most cases, what happens, each computer talks to a device in the ceiling. I'll just show it. So here, this is the wireless LAN. So wireless LAN IEEE 802.1 is actually called as Wi-Fi. When you say Wi-Fi, we are talking about a wireless LAN. Okay. So what happens, in most cases, each computer talks to a device in the ceiling. So that I'll show it in a figure. So that is called, this device, what we call it as an access point. This device is the main important aspect of Wi-Fi network. So that is called an access point, or simply AP. So an access point, wireless router, or base station. So it relays packets between the wireless computers and also between them and the internet. So being the access point is like being the popular kid at school, the popular kid in school, because everyone wants to talk to the popular kid in the school. So access point is like that. Every computer likes to speak to access point. So however, if the other computers are close enough, they can communicate directly with one another in a peer-to-peer configuration. So this is how our Wi-Fi network works. So there is a standard for wireless LANs. That standard is called as IEEE 802.11. So popularly known, this wireless standard LAN IEEE 802.11 as Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, which has become very widespread. It runs at speeds anywhere from 11 to 100 Mbps, 11 to 100 Mbps, and this access point or router would be connected to the wired network. So this is how a wireless network or IEEE 802.1 standard is known as Wi-Fi works. So this access point or the router will be connected to the wired network, and then from this access point, all other wireless computers would try to connect or speak to this access point. So that's our wireless LAN. So now let's move into wired LAN. So wired LANs use a range of different transmission technologies. Most of them use copper wires, but some use optical fibers. So optical fiber is in widespread and it's widely used. And optical fiber runs at speeds anywhere from 11 to hundreds of Mbps. So hundreds of Mbps. So case transmission time is bounded and known in advance. So knowing these bounds help us with the task of designing network protocols. Typically, wired LANs run at speeds of 100 Mbps to 1 Gbps and have low delay. So the delay could be microseconds or nanoseconds and make very few errors. So that's the speed of a wired LAN, wired local area network. So newer LANs can operate up to 10 Gbps. So compared to wireless networks, wired LANs exceed them in all dimensions of performance. So it's just easier to send signals over a wire or through a fiber than through the air. So for a wireless network, you have one, two, and the and then a third PC. So all three PCs are connected. So the topology of many wired LANs is built from point to point links. So it's not broadcasting. So it's a point to point link, whereas Wi-Fi wireless LAN is our broadcasting, and this one is point to point links. So here IEEE again 802.3 is the standard for the wired LAN. So popularly called this as Ethernet switch. Ethernet switch. So or simply these wired cables, these optic fiber cables that we connect with the PC with that standard IEEE 802.3 are known as Ethernet. Ethernet. So Ethernet is by far the most common type of wired LAN. So this is how a wired LAN topology looks like, and this is how a wireless LAN topology looks like. If you look into this picture, so wired LAN, three computers are connected with Ethernet switch through Ethernets. So it's a sample topology of switched Ethernet. So each computer speaks the Ethernet protocol and connects to a box called a switch with a point to point link, a point to a point link. Hence the name. A switch has multiple ports. Here we have multiple ports, each of which can connect to one computer. So the job of the switch is to relay packets between computers that are attached to it. So using the address in each packet to determine which computer to send it to.